Is China building a military base in Cuba? The spy game returns. Visuals, grainy satellite imagery, a spinning radar dish, archival Cold War footage, zoom in from Florida to Cuba. Narrator, tense and cinematic. Cold War II. 𝐂𝐸 just 90 miles off Florida's coast. Chinese tech installations are rising in Cuba. Military analysts are alarmed. And U.S. intelligence on high alert. Welcome to Is China Building a Military Base in Cuba? Visuals, leaked satellite images, construction zones, comparison of past Soviet-era bases with new structures. Narrator, in mid-2024 U.S. Surveillance picked up unusual activity on Cuba's northern coast. Large-scale construction, high-frequency radar arrays, and the signature footprint of my Chinese-made surveillance systems. The location? 𝐂𝐸𝐥𝐝, a former Soviet-era signals base long suspected of hosting Cuban-Russian intelligence operations. Now it's showing signs of foreign reactivation, not Russian, Chinese. And that changes everything. Visuals, Chinese satellite dishes, 5G towers, fiber optic cables being laid, Huawei logos blurred in documents. Narrator, what's being built isn't just a listening post, it's a tech fortress. Intel reports mention Huawei-linked communications towers, fiber optic lines extending to coastal points, and potential satellite uplinks. This isn't your grandfather's spy base. This is 21st century espionage. I'm high-speed, digital, and deeply entrenched. Military analysts believe the site could intercept U.S. communications, track naval movements, and even jam satellite signals in the event of conflict. And if missiles follow, the echo of 𝐂𝐸𝐿 will feel dangerously close. Caribbean port investments. Narrator, why Cuba? Why now, as U.S.? Forces bolster presence near Taiwan. China is searching for leverage. And what better way than planting a counterweight in America, but also political alignment, given Havana's influence. And remember, Beijing is already investing heavily in Latin America, ports, energy grids, data centers, a base for power projection in the Western Hemisphere. Visuals, Pentagon press briefings, U.S. Defense officials are meeting behind closed doors. And military presence near Key West is ramping up, quietly but unmistakably. Lawmakers are calling it a Cuban crisis 2.0. Some even advocate economic retaliation, not against Cuba but against Chinese firms operating abroad, because this isn't just about radar. It's about how close China can get before lines are crossed. Visuals, maps with red zones expanding, fade to static, eerie echo of Cold War newsreels. Narrator, we're witnessing a high-stakes game of surveillance, power, and provocation. And it's playing out not in the South China Sea, but right off the coast of Florida. Is China building a military base in Cuba? Or just laying the groundwork for something bigger? Let us know your take in the comments. Subscribe for more deep dive breakdowns, because the 𝐂𝐸𝐿 spy game 𝐅𝐸𝐿 is back and it's only getting started. Cuba's strategic location, paired with China's increasing influence in Latin America, shapes a narrative of mounting tensions. With U.S. military resources now heavily invested in the Asia-Pacific region, China deftly capitalizes on Washington's preoccupation. A Cuban operational base serves not merely as a listening post, but as a clear counterbalance to American power, a visible assertion of influence in the Western Hemisphere, entwined with Havana's traditional resistance to U.S. dominance. As global geopolitical plays unfold, both nations tread cautiously. The U.S. engages in heightened surveillance and diplomatic measures, with the Pentagon closely monitoring the developments in Cuba. Reconnaissance missions soar overhead, and lawmakers frame this threat as a potential Cuban crisis 2.0. Military readiness along the Gulf of Mexico and Key West escalates. The mere whispers of conflict echo reminiscent fears of past crises. Should missile capabilities accompany the rise of this military installation, a chilling parallel to the Cuban Missile Crisis of 1962 would emerge. The implications are stark. As China sets 21st century eyes on its old Cold War strategy, the world holds its breath, anticipating the next chess move in this global contest for dominance. Each unfolding development in these tense relations underscores a realigning of power dynamics, compelling questions of security, sovereignty, and the very essence of modern warfare.